So let's talk about that. Reg B, what makes it confusing is that there are two different definitions within Reg B of what an application is. There's the oral or written request, a very broad definition, what we call the initial app. That was page 2. That triggers regulatory compliance. Then there's another definition that is the reason for the confusion, and that's page 3, and that's a completed application. And a completed application occurs by definition when you have all of the information that you regularly obtain and consider and are able to make a credit decision. Now, if you're missing something and can't make a decision, then you don't have a completed app. That's all this definition is about. If you have everything you need and can make a decision, you have a completed app. That triggers the 30-day clock. Once you have everything you need to make a decision within 30 days. That's the only thing that this definition is based upon. This definition does not trigger intent to apply. That was the previous page. Does not trigger the appraisal disclosure. That was the previous page. Does not trigger the collection of government monitoring information. That was the previous page. This page is only about communicating a decision within 30 days once you have enough information to make a decision. Now, what are some of the things that you would need to get yourself to a completed application so as to have the 30-day clock start? Well, credit reports, applicant information, W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs. But I want to flash a big warning at you here. We're talking solely about Reg B today. I need you to somehow, with number 1 and A through D on page 3, right off in the margin, caution TRID. You see, TRID's definition, okay, runs, it's going to run along the same timeline, if you will, not exactly the same timeline, but it's going to run linearly with Reg B's definition, okay, yet it's a more narrow definition. Meaning, long story short, you can't violate TRID while trying to comply with Reg B. In other words, Reg B says these are things you need in order to get to a completed app. That's fine. But you can't require them before certain time frames in TRID, or you'll be in violation of TRID. And we'll talk about that more later. I just want you to put the caution in here. If you were requiring these things before you had a TRID app, you'd have a problem. You'd have a violation of TRID, even though Reg B says you're okay. Number 2, lender responsibility. It's your responsibility to keep the application train moving forward. You need to be asking the questions, okay, relative to the information, the things you need to keep moving forward. Otherwise, you could be seen as discouraging the applicant from moving forward. You also have to be timely with it. Now, you do get some grace here, okay, no question. But let me use an analogy that we often use that helps us understand this. I'm not sure if you've probably seen the game. Maybe some of you haven't played the game, but the game of tennis. Okay, imagine the application process as a game of tennis. And so I'm the applicant, and I show up, and I'm looking to apply for a loan. I've got my tennis racket, I got my tennis ball, and I write application on the tennis ball. And I hit the ball over the net to you. Okay, ball is now in your court. You're the bank. Okay, ball in your court. You now need to go, that's a tennis ball. Okay, it says application on it. Now it's your job to hit it back to me and tell me what you need to keep the application moving forward. Now let's back up for a moment. When I take my racket and I hit the ball that says application on it over the net to you, you have an app, and that meets the definition of page number 2. You have to start complying with regulatory requirements, and you can't illegally discriminate. Okay? Now that the ball's in your court, what you're trying to do is get page number 3 taken care of. You've got a ball that's been hit to you that says application. You have to go, okay, now I need to let the other person on the other side of the net know what you need from me. And so you hit the ball back over the net, and I get it, and I say it says W-2, tax return, pay stub, whatever else that you think you might need, depending on the product. Okay? What you want me to do is then hit the ball back over the net to you, and we keep this game of tennis going until we make a decision. Once we make a decision, the ball is last in your court, and you hit that decision back over to me. That decision has to be hit back within 30 days of you getting everything you would need to be able to make a credit decision. That's the game that you're playing, folks. Now, there's a lot of different things that can happen during that game. When you hit the ball back over the net to me saying what I need, if I look at it and go, and I take my ball and go home and quit communicating with you, okay, then that game might be done. But the way we end that game is a discussion for another day. That's part of that adverse action notice webinar. Okay. Sometimes you hit the ball back over the net to me and it's a no but. Well, that's still a decision. Has to be communicated within 30 days. So the point I'm trying to make here is jump all the way down to number 3. Once you have enough information to make a decision, you need to make one. You've got 30 days to do it. Okay. The ball at that point is in your court. If you have enough information, You've got 30 days to hit it back over the net to the person on the other side. Hey, that's the 30-day clock. That's all this page is about. Once you have everything and can make a decision, you need to. You've got 30 days to hit the ball back over the net. All other regulatory compliance from a Reg B standpoint is hinged on page 2. Intent to apply, government monitoring information collection, demographic information collection, and the appraisal notice. Okay, that's triggered by page 2, oral or written request for credit. Page 3, 30-day clock, once you have everything and can make a decision.